Rabbi, you see my menorah?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do. Very nice.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Madam Clerk.
Calling the meeting to order.
Are you in, Madam Clerk? You in? Oh, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is January 12, 2021. This is the first time we're about to meet for the year 2021. I hope you enjoyed the holidays, and I wish everyone a happy 2021, and I wish that 21 be better than 2020. Again, Happy New Year to everyone. The meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Estimate Irvin.
Present.
Councilman Desilme.
Here.
Vice Mayor Galvin.
Here.
Councilwoman Keys.
Here.
Mayor Bieneme.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance by Major Ramon Carter, followed by invocation with Rabbi Jerry Lane.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And now, Rabbi Lane, good afternoon.
Thank you. First, tackle your words. I want to wish everyone a very good new year. We ask that God invoke his blessing to protect all of us. In Judaism, we just finished the book of the Bible, the Torah, Genesis, and now we start Exodus. A chapter ends, a new one begins. Right now in our world, one chapter is coming to its completion and a new one is beginning. We hope and pray that we are all safe, that our country heals, that people learn to get along. I said at the beginning, we ask that God invoke his blessing on our mayor, our council, our chief, and all the people who work so hard to make us the city we are. The vaccine, we pray and hope, will reach us soon. So many people are ill. We pray for their well-being, for good health. I'm going to reiterate without being overly redundant, and that is, my wife gets angry every time at a meeting I say we hope for unity and diversity. The reality is it's never been more important than now for our country to have unity and diversity. I would like them to take our city as an example. Black and white, Jewish, Christian, American, Asian American, Latin, and we get along. Nothing is perfect, but I would like the world to follow what we do here in North Miami. And so I pray truly for a good year, for all of your guidance, for your wisdom and good health. May we all be protected and have only good things in this coming year. And we say amen. And thank you for allowing me to speak to all you wonderful people.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Jerry Lane from Temple Baptist Moshe Congregation. We want to thank Major Ransom Carter from the North Miami Police Department for the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, let's call the business. Madam City Manager, do we have any addition, deletions, amendment, or deferral to the agenda?
We do not. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I understand we have at least 3 council members inside City Hall. That's been, are we set to conduct business, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, Mayor, we have a quorum and the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. And now we have special presentation, update on COVID-19 and hurricane awareness. I don't know, from Commander Brinson. Commander Brinson.
Yes, Commander Brinson here, sir. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Commander Angelo Brinson, Emergency Manager. As far as hurricanes awareness, hopefully we won't see nothing until next year. And even during the season, let's hope for a slow year. I will provide a quick update on the current COVID-19 numbers, as well as a current update on where we at with the vaccination program. And after that, I'll answer any questions that you all may have. For update on the numbers, as of last night, the state of Florida has reported 1,488,000 cases of COVID-19. Miami-Dade County has 328,000 cases. And North Miami, as of last night, has 2,406 cases. As a reminder, these numbers are cumulative and they have been added up since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is coming up on a year. North Miami residents are reminded that masks or facial coverings are mandatory in the city of North Miami, even if you're outside, if social distancing is not possible. The only way that we're going to reduce the spread of COVID-19 is if every individual does their part. That means we must avoid large gatherings, even if it's large gatherings of your family members. If you live in different households, wear your mask and wash your hands frequently. Now, for a brief status on the vaccination program, per Governor's Executive Order 20-315, all providers who are administering the vaccine may only vaccinate long-term care facility residents and staff at nursing homes, individuals who are 65 and older, and healthcare personnel who have direct patient contact. For residents who are 65 and over, please be aware that there will be no walk-up vaccinations. All vaccinations will be provided by appointment only. As of this morning, there were no appointments available until Miami-Dade County receives additional shipments of the vaccine. We started off with 2 locations. Now there's about 6 locations that will provide vaccinations. But like I said, at this point, everything's on hold until we get another shipment of vaccines. I have put in a formal request that the state set up a vaccination site in the city of North Miami. So as we move forward and start providing these vaccinations to all residents, we hope to have a site in North Miami to provide those vaccinations. As soon as we receive additional information that we have vaccine available and we can verify that information for our residents, we will provide that information to our residents across all of our platforms. As of today, since the vaccine started, 58,000 people have been vaccinated. And Miami-Dade County has about 2 million people. So you can tell how long it's going to take to slowly work through the entire population of those residents who want the vaccine. That's my update. And if you have any questions, I will entertain them at this time.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the dais? I see none. Thank you very much, Commander Brinson.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. And now let's go to the consent agenda. From A to F, Madam City Clerk.
Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through F constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A through F be adopted.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Very much.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Tab G.
Tab G, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue purchase orders to Cheney Brothers, Inc. in an annual amount not to exceed $150,000 for the provision of food distribution services utilizing the cooperative purchasing provision pursuant to section 7-169 of the city code on a contract awarded through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab G.
Thank you very much, Madam City Manager. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think we're okay if there's no questions.
Just a quick question. The food will be only for the food pantry?
It'll be for any food distribution services that we need. And just to remind you how we've been working with the food pantry recently, we have curbside pickup and we also have delivery services. We've been doing that through the first quarter of the fiscal year, and we're going to continue to do that during the second quarter.
Okay, but you said the food, this food is not for the food, it's not for distribution to the food pantry?
No, it will be used for that as well, but we generally have had other events sometimes, like where there's additional food. So we would have this amount for food in general so that we can do our food distribution. And currently we're doing curbside pickup from the food pantry and delivery services.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public to see if there is any comment. Public hearing is open on tab G.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending this afternoon's virtual regular council meeting. This meeting will allow live public comment by attendees. Public hearing will take place upon announcement by the chair of the meeting, Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé. And from that time, attendees will be able to virtually raise their hand, and this will function similarly to lining up at the podium. Attendees cannot leave their hand raised throughout the entire meeting. So if you raise your hand before an item is read, it will be removed. Do not forget to state your full name and complete address for the record. And remember that you will have up to 2 minutes to make your comment. Thank you in advance for your understanding and your feedback. For those of you who are participating by phone, you will need to press *9. And from there, I will send you a pin that you can use to unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now open on tab G. Public hearing on tab G.
If you wish to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. Mayor Bien-Aimé, it does not appear that we have any hands raised on this item.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Council members, if you have any questions, if none, can I get a motion to approve tab G?
So moved.
Can I second?
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Mayor Bien-Aimé. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Tab H.
Tab H, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and the city attorney to finalize and execute a maintenance agreement between the city of North Miami and Tyler Technologies, Inc. to continue to provide the city with services to the Enterprise Resource Planning ERP software system and the biometric time and attendance system at a cost not to exceed $191,360, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab H.
Thank you very much, Madam City Manager.
At this time, I'd like to recognize Alberto Destrada. His presentation.
Good afternoon. Mr. Mayor, council members.
Good afternoon.
Alberto Estrada, Purchase Director. The item that you have before you is simply requesting the council's authority to enter into an agreement with Tyler Technologies Incorporated for a maintenance and support. This is for the city's Eden system and also for the time and attendance executive time software system. This is an annual maintenance agreement that the city has with Tyler Technologies. It's a 1-year contract. It will run through December 31st of this year, 2021. And it is a not to exceed amount of $191,368. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I believe that I also have the IT director, Mr. Ricardo Castillo, is also available to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing on tab H.
If you'd like to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. If you're participating by phone, please press *9 now.
Public hearing is open on tab H.
Mayor, it does not appear that we have any hands raised on this item.
Thank you very much. Tab H is now closed. Council members, any question for?
Move approval.
No. And a second?
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve the item at tab H. The motion was seconded by Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Tab I.
Tab I, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the selection of John's Eastern Company, Inc. for the provision of workers' compensation third-party administrative services in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in request for proposal number 45-19-20. Further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with the selected vendor, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab I.
Thank you very much. Alberto Estrade, do you have a presentation?
Yes, certainly. Once again, for the record, Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you is simply a request for the council to approve the evaluation committee's recommendation of John's Eastern Company Incorporated as the top-ranked firm in response to RFP 45-1920 that was issued by the city seeking proposals for the city's workers' compensation third-party administrator services contract. In response to this solicitation, the city received 6 proposals. And as part of the council report, on the second page of the council report is a summary of the final evaluation committee scores and tabulation for each one of the applicants. You can see on the second page, the top ranked firm by the committee was John's Eastern Company Incorporated. This is a contract that includes the administering the workers' compensation program within the provisions of Chapter 440 of Florida statutes, as well as within the city's established ordinances, regulations, protocol, and procedures. The city has been partially self-insuring its workers' compensation program for over 35 years. The current program is focused on achieving the best medical outcomes for its senior workers at the most reasonable cost. To accomplish this goal, efforts have been initiated and are ongoing to partner with the best medical providers in the local community. The contract that is before you to be approved and awarded to John's Eastern Company would be a 3-year initial term with the option to renew for an additional 2-year periods. The estimated financial impact or cost of this contract is approximately $55,000 a year, or a total of $165,000 over the initial 3-year term. Here with me in support of this item is Ms. Karen Muir. She is the director of our risk management office. And if you have any questions, we will be glad to take them from the council. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Tab I. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab I.
If you wish to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. If you are participating by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. Mayor, it does not appear that we have any hands raised on this item.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is closed on tab I. Council members, do you have any questions? If none, can I get a motion to approve tab I?
So moved.
Second.
A second. Okay.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve the item at tab I. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Tab J.
Tab J, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving and adopting stormwater utility rates and implementing water and sewer rates effective February 1st, 2021. Further authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the stated rate structure plan, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab J.
Thank you very much. And do have a presentation by the administration. I see Miguel Augustin.
We don't have a full presentation today. We did make presentations during the budget meeting and sent out notices. But we are here to accept any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Tab J is open to the public.
If you would like to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. We do have a previously submitted public comment, so I will start with that one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard, North Miami, Florida, 33161. I am writing to voice my strong opposition to raising the rates of residents' water. It is unbelievable that this item would even be placed on the agenda at this time. With COVID numbers at an all-time high, mass numbers of unemployment, unprecedented amounts of residents unable to provide food for their families, now the city is looking at raising the rates of water and trash. This is incredible to me. For many years, residents demanded that the city slow down its spending on things that did bring benefits to us. Paying for our former mayor and staff to go to India for a 2-week nonviolence and poverty training, the trip to China, the creation of a city-funded party place, the Red Garden, a large increase in staff, leases all over town that we are locked into for decades, I could go on. But now, after all the parties, lawsuits, IRS fines, audits show we are indeed in a deficit, and now you want to further burden the residents by raising the water rates on top of already raising the trash rates. That is unacceptable. The windfall money that has come into the city should have been invested in upgrading our water plant to max out our production of water. Instead, we are all looking around to figure out where all that money went. Now is not the time to raise the fees on residents. It's disrespectful. Vote this down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open.
We have a hand raised from Peter Seidman. I will unmute your microphone now. Please unmute yourself, state your name and address for the record, and remember that you have 2 minutes within which to make your comment.
My name is Peter Seidman, 1345 Northeast 129th Street. I very much support the spirit of the written resolution, which was just read here. I would like to ask what consideration has been given to alternate funding instead of these outrageous increases in our water rates. I noticed that this money is being used to pay back a bond, which will be issued in order to finance the water. I would like to know who is buying those bonds. Are those bonds tax-free investments for people wealthy enough to buy them, through which we will be subsidizing higher rates to the benefit of people like that? I would also like to know what alternatives have been considered to funding the necessary improvements in the water supply here. I agree with what the previous person wrote about what seems to me to be really crazy improvements in front of City Hall on the roads, a big project to change the intersections at 125th Street near 6th Avenue. The cost of the police department. What other parts of the city budget have been looked at as opposed to making the taxpayers? I know that in my neighborhood, there are people who absolutely are worried they won't be able to pay their water bills. And as the person said, this is not a time to be shifting the burden of such health essential things onto the backs of the working people in this community. So I urge you to vote down this tab.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open on tab J.
If you wish to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. If you're participating by phone, press star 9 now. Cassandra Timothy, I am now going to unmute you. Please state your name and address for the record, and remember that you now have 2 minutes to make your comment.
Cassandra Timothy, 950 Northeast 129th Street, North Miami, Florida 33161. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy New Year's. It's interesting being on this side, but I know this is the item that the residents are not too pleased with. Even me, who pays my water bill every quarterly for my mother. Just want to make sure that we properly communicate to the residents the amount that is being raised. So definitely want to make sure that people look at the agenda item and they see the amount, because I was calculating it for my mom and it's about $30 or $40. So definitely just wanted to pin that out to the residents who are paying attention and listening to this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cassandra Timothy. Public hearing still open on tab J.
Mayor, it does not appear that we have any other hands raised on this item.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. And just a quick reminder before I turn it over to any council members who want to speak on the item. We are not raising the water bill. The only thing we are doing, we've been subsidizing the water bill for the past 7-8 years, and now we say we don't have the money to subsidize the water bill. That means we cannot afford to pay water bill for the residents. That's all we're doing now. We said we don't have the money to subsidize your water bill. We're not increasing the water bill, but we just ask the resident to pay for the water bill because we don't have the money to subsidize the water bill. That's when we're not increasing the water bill in order to meet our budget or anything. And I hope that we understand that. And now, council members, if we have any questions, we don't have any question. Can I hear a motion to approve tab J?
Can I say something?
Sorry, I withdraw my motion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say I'm agreeing with you, Mr. Mayor. We have been subsidizing water. We did a rate study in 2012, and we never implemented what we should have been paying. Also, in 2012, we had a contract with Waste Pro, and it's 8 years later, and we have been subsidizing the waste bill for 8 years. I'd like to point out that if you lived in the county, if you lived in unincorporated Dade County, you would be paying $484 a year for waste and getting 2 bulk pickups a year. We've been paying $257 a year, getting weekly bulk pickups, and we're only raising it to $333, which is still about $160 less a year than the county. So we are still just one of the least expensive waste bills. It is just barely covering the cost just to pay Waste Pro, not even what it costs the rest of the city for the rest of the waste. So I want people to realize that we're just charging people to pay for what they're actually incurring. And there was a comment about a bond. I don't think this has anything to do with any bond. This is just to cover the cost of what it costs to provide water and to pay Waste Pro. So if anybody could answer, we're not talking about a bond here, and I don't like statements being made and people think we have this bond going out.
That's correct, Council.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Councilwoman Keys. And what I said now, that if we can see the difference between the county 489 that the residents of Miami-Dade County are paying for the trash to be picked up, and the city of North Miami is paying $333.
And they get two pickups a year, bulk.
And they are paying $150 more. And we want the residents to know that we are not increasing tax on them. That's when we are not increasing the water and sanitation. We used to subsidize that, and this year we ask them to just pay. That's all we're doing. Thank you very much. If there is no question, and yes, Councilman Galvin.
Thank you. I think it's very much worth noting that in a recent state audit that was done of us, they insisted that we do this because by underwriting it, we were growing our deficit annually by at least $1 million a year. So the state told us to do this. It's the right thing to do. And the gentleman who mentioned the projects on 125th Street and Northeast 6th Avenue, those are all Florida Department of Transportation projects not paid for by the city. So thank you, Mayor, for the moment.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any other comment or questions? If none, can I have a motion to approve tab J?
So moved.
Second.
And I second that.
I have a motion. Excuse me. I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve the item at tab J. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
The motion carries with a 4-1 vote.
And Madam Clerk, thank you. Madam City Manager, please, can you making sure you do. Madam City Manager, you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? No,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Can you, yes. Can you please, yes, I hear you. I just want you to inform the public about exactly what we've been doing, subsidizing the water and the sanitation, and now we just ask people to pay for it because we cannot afford to subsidize it. And put the outreach program to go on network, and if you can put things in Creole, Spanish, and English, so we know exactly what's the information is, so people don't go outside and spread that we are raising the bill, okay? Extremely important for us. We can put some language, and so it can go out to every resident and they can understand, not just to send them the note, but also an outreach program that's gonna help them understand exactly what we are doing. Because in the middle of a pandemic, we are not raising taxes doing. As a matter of fact, we are looking for money to invest in businesses and in residents of the city. That's when make sure you put something so they understand. Thank you very much. And let's move to the next tab K.
Tab K, proposed second reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Miami, Florida, amending chapter 15 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Personnel, Pensions, and Retirement by amending Article 1, Department of Personnel, specifically at section 15-14 entitled Oaths, Prohibitions to remove employee restrictions and prohibitions, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, correction of scrivener's errors, codification, and an effective date. Tab K.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. This is the second reading of an ordinance.
Thank you very much.
It's his sign.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This is an ordinance that we prepared in response to some incidents that happened late last year. We had a special meeting on November 24th where we presented the first reading of this ordinance. During that meeting, you asked for certain changes to the ordinance. Those changes are reflected here in this ordinance. Specifically, in Section 3 of the changes, we've changed that language to say that any employee running for office in the city of North Miami shall take an unpaid leave of absence upon filing of their statement of candidate form. And also, no city employee shall remain an employee after being sworn into any public office. Additionally, there's a third change that was brought to you back in November. And that's the elimination of the language that states that no person holding a position in the service of the city shall make any contribution to the campaign funds of any political party or any candidate for public office or take any part in the management, affairs, or political campaign of any political party further than the exercise of his rights as a citizen to express his opinion and to cast his vote. That language is eliminated. It was eliminated during the first reading. And those are the changes. We hope that you will support this ordinance. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. And now let's open it to the public. Public hearing is now open on tab K.
If you'd like to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. If you're participating by phone, please press *9 now to raise your hand. Mayor, it does not appear that we have any hands raised on this item at this time.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. We have any question on the dais and bring it up, or I hear motion to approve tab K.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve the item in tab K. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. Councilman Desilme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote? It's just the Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
I said yes.
The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
You are.
Actually, let me check real quick on your PC. Maybe you might be connecting to.
No, I'm not. Get out of it. You know, it's official.
Sorry.
What do you want me to do?
You gotta.
Tab L, proposed first reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of North Miami entitled Administration, Article 3 entitled Boards, Committees, Commissions to establish the North Miami Commission for Women, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, codification, and foreign. Tab L.
Good afternoon again, Mayor and Council. This is an ordinance that was prepared on behalf of Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin.
Thank you very much.
Just delayed.
This ordinance establishes a it establishes a commission on women, or North Miami Commission for Women. This would become another board for the city. I'll allow at this time, I allow Councilwoman Mary Esther Irvin to present her item.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year. Just like Jeff mentioned, this is an ordinance to create a women's commission, to help out with a lot of the fair and equal treatment of women for those policies and practices that discriminate against women, whether practiced by the public or private persons. It's just for the betterment of our city at whole. We have our neighboring cities that have these as well. And after 94 years, I'm hoping that you, my colleagues, will go support this movement to have a women's commission board.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Tab L is open to the public.
If you'd like to speak on this item, on the item at tab L, please raise your hand at this time. If you're participating by phone, please press *9 now. Mayor Bianme, it does not appear that we have any hands raised on this item at this time.
So if you permit me, Mayor, I'd like to move.
Tab L is still open to the public. Thank you very much. Tab L is now closed. Public is now closed on tab L. You are going to say something, Councilwoman.
No, sir. I thank you for the privilege of speaking. I'd just like to move for.
Councilwoman Irvin, nobody hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. I just would like to move for approval. If there's no other discussion.
Yes, I hear you now.
I have some questions, if I may.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Yeah. Are you guys able to hear me? Just one question I had for, I don't know if the question is for, it can be the attorney. Councilwoman, the number of people that you have appointing to the board, I know it's 11, and I was looking at that. It's a little bit high, and I know we have issues with regular board having a quorum. So is that something is there a reason why it was 11?
Do you have objection to that? Obviously, do you? Are you suggesting?
Councilwoman.
Yeah, no, that was my question. I either way, no, I don't have any objection. I was asking because I thought it was too high for the simple fact of a quorum. If that's what you prefer, I don't care either way. I was just saying, is that a good?
Would you like to suggest another number?
I don't know. Perhaps I don't know if the clerk. I don't know what board, like what number where you'll get a realistic number of people, because I know the CRA, even those big boards that requires something by statute, we are having problem with people coming. So that's all I'm saying. So perhaps if it's smaller, you'll probably get quorum, because just having a board and nobody showing up and they can't have a quorum, which is majority of the board in the city, not functioning, which is a problem. That's all. So if that's the number 11, I don't mind either way. But that was just an observation and a question.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Keys.
Yeah, I'm going to echo Vice Mayor Desulme. We have problems right now filling boards. even 5, 7 people boards, and we have problems with those boards even showing up. So I really am not in favor of, you wanted the last board. I'm just not in favor of just keep adding boards by ordinance. And I have to tell you, I'm really happy to say that I don't think women in this city of North Miami have any problem. For the past dozen years, we've had the directors, we've had women running the planning, women running the zoning. We've had past chief of polices, assistant city police chief, assistant police. We've had several city attorneys. Our manager is a woman. Our director of MOCA is a woman. Our librarian is a woman. We don't seem to have problems. So this board shouldn't be addressing anything but issues with the city. And I'm happy to, we've got elected officials. Our city clerk is a woman. Why do we really need to set up a board when we don't have a problem? I mean, I don't understand what it's going to do and why we're not going to have a man's board. I'm just not a real pro woman. So I'm not really in favor of it.
I did ask the attorney, by the way, if we could do that.
We're not supposed to discriminate. We're not supposed to discriminate based on gender. That's part of something our city's supposed to do. And to me, this is a bit of discrimination.
So I'm sorry that you feel that we're discriminating, and so I'll join along with other cities that are also discriminating, like the city of North Miami Beach, like the city of Miami Beach, like the city of Hialeah, like the city of Doral. I don't think that they're also discriminating. So I mean, it is your obviously
that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that is your personal opinion, but this is actually the contrary. I'm not trying to discriminate against anyone. I just feel that we have a need. There's a need for it. There's a need. I feel that there's a need to uplift the women here in the city of North Miami, and I don't understand. Well, obviously it's everybody else's choice. Jeff, is there? Vice Mayor. Councilman Dezume, if you would like, I mean, if 5 is better than 11, I can go ahead and go to 5 more than 11. I could amend that if that is.
Well, I had asked, I don't mind the number. I had asked the city attorney, but he did say, when we have discussion, it would probably be best. I put it so because I thought it was for the employees. So the board, the purpose would be for the residents and the employees. It's my understanding. Mr. Attorney, is like if they have a complaint, so they'll bring it and then they'll make recommendation to us on improving the
That's not what. That's a board like it's gonna be an advisory board like the other board, or what type of board this is going to be, Mr. City Attorney?
This is an advisory board. So the way it's written is that this is a board that will take up whatever issues they feel they need to take up that involve women in the city. That could be employee, that could be whatever that has to do with women. It's not a disciplinary board. It's not an investigative board like the police investigative panel that we created. It's just a board that deals with whatever issues that are brought up that they feel that they need to address, and then they provide advisory opinions to both the city manager and the council. The way we came up to the number of members, if you look at some of our other boards, some of the larger boards, they require they require each council person to appoint 2 people, and then they appoint at large. There are some boards where we go down to 7, where it's 1 person per council member, and then you have 2 at large. Yeah. We just went to the higher one, and to allow you all to have whatever flexibility you want to choose, whatever number you want.
Mr. Attorney, I think moving forward, the lower the better, because of our problem with having a quorum in terms of where we are. But again, Mr. Attorney, okay, so the board, when you say whatever, what does that mean? Whatever problem, like give me an example. I know Miami-Dade has a status on commission women, women on the status on whatever the name of that commission is, dealing with women issues. So is that a mirror of that? That's what I thought it was. Is that what it is? That March, Women's Month. So because you just say something to the city manager, and I really want to be. I would understand us that creates policies that the committee could make us stuff to us, but the city manager, what if there's an issue with a woman in my district? I don't see what coming to the city manager will have to do with that, unless it's an employee or I don't know. So that's where you probably need to help me understand, Mr. Attorney, in terms of the issue.
Well, sir, like I said, this is an advisory board. The members, what we're establishing, the advisory board on women issues. All I can tell you, I've sat on a county commission on a board. I sat on the Black Affairs Advisory Board. And essentially what happened on that board was the members of the board, we had an executive director and the members of the board. If there were issues that came up in the community, we were the ones that brought it up, we discussed it, and we came to conclusions, and we made advisory opinions to the staff and to the elected officials. I imagine that would be the same thing here. I can't foresee all the issues that they would come up, or if there are any issues that they would come up. I mean, but what you're establishing is a board that on their own will decide what issues that they're addressing that involve women in the city, and then they bring advisory opinions. Some of them will go to the manager if it's relevant to the manager. Again, I can't foresee what those are. And some of them will come to you if they're relevant for the elected officials.
What if we call it a Equality Commission Board that address all and maybe addressing any discrimination on any groups, or why is it going to be only women?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I would suggest you.
Councilwoman estimate.
All due respect, Mayor, I would support. I would.
No, I was gonna say. Yeah, no, I was gonna say you probably need to do your own resolution.
But we don't have to do a resolution for everything. What did you were saying something, Councilwoman Irvin?
No, I have nothing to say on that. I'm just waiting for the rest of you.
No, I asked you a question. What do you think?
No, I would really like your support on this Women's Commission Board. Thank you.
Ask you a question. What do you think about the Equality Commission Board?
I don't have an issue with it, but this is not what we're talking about right now. What I'm talking about is the Women's Commission, and I would like to have all of my colleagues support on that.
Mr. Mayor, was a motion made to approve?
I made a motion to approve.
Can I?
I'll second.
Thank you.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve that item at tab L. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Galvin. Councilwoman Estimate Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Galvin, how do you vote?
First, before I vote, I didn't notice if you'd done it through for the earlier part of this call, but I prefer to use just the title of councilman during these meetings. So personal privilege, if you will, drop the vice mayor term, though I know I'm serving as it, and just use the term councilman, please. And I vote yes.
Councilman Deslame, how do you vote?
I vote yes, but I will talk to the city attorney just with some, some other, not issue, but some. I don't want to use the word reservation. A little concern I have about one of the items, but I vote yes. Hopefully, we'll resolve it for the next one.
Would you mind sharing your concern?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
No.
That's fine.
Can you,
Ma'am?
Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Keys, how do you vote?
No.
Mayor BNMA, how do you vote?
Since, it's the first reading and we can change it at our next meeting, and I'll vote yes to pass it. So we'll change what we have to change at the next meeting.
The motion carries with a 4-1 vote.
Thank you very much. And now, tab M.
Tab M, discussion regarding renovations and Breezewood Tot Lot. Tab M.
Councilman Nagesime Irvin.
Councilwoman, thank you. I am bringing this in front of you. As you know, we have set aside some funds to renovate Breezewood Park. One of the Breezewood Tot Lot. So one of the reasons why this is coming before you, which it normally, I guess, would not, because there are some funds already set aside, is that there are families in my immediate area where this park is located that are concerned about, that want the renovation and that is concerned about the basketball court that is there. Not because of the basketball court, but because of the element that comes with it, with the older folks taking over the top lot. There should be something in the clerk's office where citizens have signed a petition to agree for the removal of the basketball court in exchange for a spray ground. There are parents that live right within the park that leave our parks to go to Biscayne Park or Miami Shores because they are not comfortable taking their young ones to that top lot, which it was intended for. So this is why this discussion is being, I'll let the city manager continue. So I've been in conversation about renovating the park. The city manager felt that the discussion should be had right here in front of us. And I just want to make sure that that we are all in agreement and it's transparent what we're trying to do to Breezewood Park.
And Councilwoman Irvin, as we got to that, and, I was the councilman for the district, and some people had the same question. Across the street, it's Councilman Desilme's district, which is District 4, and across the street from the Tatlat. And some people were trying to remove the basketball court. But at a council meeting, you have over 25 people coming in with questions about it. That's mean, unless we can build another basketball court for the people, not only the area, because the Tatlat serve the resident of the entire city. We're not making a park just for people across the street, but we are putting a park for the entire city. Me, personally, as former councilman at that district and mayor of the city, I'm not willing to vote to remove that basketball court because it serves a lot of people.
Mr. Mayor,
you may have a few people that complaining about it. First of all, some of the people that you may say complaining about it live in District 4, and some of the people who don't want it, they don't have kids.
There is other people, maybe the type of kids they would like to see there, they're different from kids show up and play basketball. That may be the reason they don't want it. But me personally, I don't agree on removing it. I don't know. Well, before I had this conversation, I had spoken to the people that are immediate. I understand that all of our parks are for all of our citizens, but it's also unjust that someone that is living here cannot enjoy a park in the way that it was intended to. This park is intended for tot lots, for toddlers, typically from zero to 12. And that is not happening when you have older folks that are taking over the basketball court, and it's not allowing for parents. And I have a lot, and you don't live far from me, Mr. Mayor. You see all of the families that are there. This conversation is because families in this area contacted me for that reason. Now, in terms of basketball, we do have basketball court that's not too far. We have a basketball court that's on 135th Street, Northeast 8th Avenue. And like I said,
Exactly. Doesn't have a car.
It is still walking distance. I can walk. It's still walking distance from where you're talking about the distance from Breeswap. It's walking distance. Anyway, I am asking, I hope that some of my other colleagues can support that. It is a top lot. It is called Breeswap Top Lot. And again, it is unfair that people do not feel comfortable bringing their toddlers there, and they have to leave our city to go to a nearer part to Biscayne Park or to my kids. I find that to be unfair. And I have spoken to residents in District 4 and in District 3 in this immediate area.
Councilwoman Esimerven, we understand your concern, but we have more things to think about it and discuss for the city than just fighting for a tatler. I do understand you talk to people, but understand you've been there for 1 year and a half, and I've been there for 6 years. That concern was raised before, and I'm telling you that I talked to a lot of people also, and I know the subject. We cannot just please.
I've recently spoken to those very people, Mr. Mayor. I've
been there for years.
I understand that you've been there for 6 years, but the 1 little year and a half that I've been there, I too have spoken to residents.
Okay, what you want to do? We want to put it as an item to vote on, or what you want to do? Because the resident been calling every day, put money in the budget to do the park.
Mr. Mayor, it is your privilege.
If you don't want to spend the money, let's do something else with the money.
No, it's your privilege to do what you would like. I'm just having this discussion to be transparent. I didn't realize that we needed to vote on this. I didn't realize we needed to vote on it. But if you'd like to vote, hey, it is your privilege, and I'm ready to vote.
If I would like, I can wait. I would like to give the opportunity for Christine, who's our interim parks director, to kind of show the options that we have for Breeswap Top Lot. Christine.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you have the presentation? Oh, there we go. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Interim Director for the Parks and Recreation Department, Christine Carney. The next few slides, you'll see the current situation, the current layout, of the Breeswap Park, located on 125th and Northeast 2nd Avenue. That's what it's currently at right now. Next slide. The current amenities, and you'll see pictures to the right of the current state of the park. The current amenities are the basketball court, which is a half-court basketball court, a playground, which includes the play center, the dome climber, swings, slide structure, a small pavilion, pathway to all the amenities, lighting, park benches, a bike rack, and a water fountain. Next slide, please. For the new project, the project amenities would include a spray ground, a playground, which would include the play center for ages 2 to 12, swing sets, synthetic surfacing, and a shade structure, restroom facilities, a larger pavilion, upgraded pathway to all the amenities, lighting, park benches, bike rack, water fountain, landscaping, and decorative fencing. Next slide, please. These are just pictures or samples of what would be added. So the bathrooms and the spray ground, those aren't the exact ones, but those are just samples or examples of what the new amenities would be. Next slide, please. The pictures that you see today, the pictures that you see here are pictures of Pepper Park, which is our newest playground. And it shows you this shade structure, the surfacing, and the newer types of playgrounds that are out there. Next slide, please. Again, more amenities, new lighting, park benches, trash receptacles, and then a decorative fencing. Currently, it's just a chain link fence. We would do a wrought iron fencing, just like that's at North Bay Shore. Next slide, please. So there's two options, as the councilwoman discussed. This is option A, only because that's the first one would be the spray ground, the playground tot lot, pavilion, the new restrooms, and the basketball court. So those aren't exactly places where each amenity will be, but that's just explaining what would be in one option. Next slide, please. Thank you. Then this would be the spray ground. The other option, would be the spray ground, the pavilion, the playground or tot lot, and then the restrooms. Next slide. That concludes. Concludes my presentation for the breeze swept tot lot renovations.
Thank you very much. And then it's a discussion item, and thank you very much. You're done. Let's move.
No, I
To citizen forum.
Mayor, no, Mr. Mayor, please, the discussion item so that we can move forward. So I'd like to know.
What?
I would like to give directive to the city manager to report with the renovation. That's why it's being discussed. So you saw the presentation, but I just want to make sure that we are in that if you want to take a vote on removing the basketball court, so we know how we proceed or not.
That's a discussion item.
It is a discussion.
Have any action to take.
Okay, so I'm going to give directive to the city manager to go ahead and proceed without the basketball court, please. Thank you.
That's not what we are discussing now.
I just want, as a city manager, I need a directive on a vote that has to have the council vote if there's a directive on this item.
Yeah, but Madam City Manager, I understand your.
Fine. Right, so we will.
No, I'm just your point. What we are doing, if we want a vote on the item, we're going to put it as a resolution at the next council, where the residents going to be able to come and express their view on the item. If they agree or not, then we will take a vote.
I hope that if we start this precedence, that we do it on every other item. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a problem. Let's do a resolution so that we do that. The dollars were already allocated, so that is not fair. I think we should treat each other equal. So if we want to go ahead and do that, I'm all for it. Please, let's have a resolution, but make sure that we have a resolution for every single thing that we're going to do that doesn't even merit this. This wasn't supposed to come for a vote. This was supposed to be transparent. But I see this is the way we want to do it, and I'm okay with it. So I hope that, like you've mentioned, you want a resolution for the next council meeting. Great. But make sure, city manager, that anything that needs a decision, we all come here, we all do a resolution to do the very same thing that we're doing today.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, I'm the chair of the meeting. You can have any proposal, but what we are saying, you don't want the basketball court, right? And I want it.
So let's take a vote,
The best way
Mayor.
to address that, That's why, but you need to hear from the public. We need to open it to the public. And the public didn't know that we were gonna take a vote on this.
And that's not a problem. I didn't realize that when we were talking about doing those type of things, that we take it to, is that the normal, is this the normal procedure if we are renovating a park that we do this? Can the city manager, attorney, or both answer me? Is that normal procedure?
Well, generally, when we're working on a project, I would work with the district council person to kind of come up with the project that they envision. We always do some level of public input. In this case, we're talking about, while we do have a mayor, you all are still from the same district. So this is kind of a different situation than normal. If it was just a project in your district, we usually allow that district council to lead and look into other things. In this case, for us to make this decision about removing property of the city in a district in which there is disagreements on whether or not to do that.
So if this was in District 4, it wouldn't be an issue because the mayor and the councilman don't live in the same district? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, Councilwoman, if I may,
Madam City Manager, wait.
Yes.
I'm the chair of the meeting. If the plan was the same, they won't have to come before us. But if we're gonna make changes, one person cannot just decide to change something who be there for 95 years, just like that. You don't want the basketball court, and I was the councilman of the district. I said I want the basketball court. Now, if you want to have a discussion, put it on the agenda. The public is aware of that. They're gonna come and make the comment, and at the end of the day, we're gonna vote on it.
And my question is, Mr. Mayor, my question is, so if there was an item that needed to be removed out of Keystone Tot Lot, we would go through the same process? Is that my question? I mean, is that my...
Okay, let me answer your question.
I'm asking the question to the city manager, please. And the city
attorney.
No,
you don't ask the question to me. You ask the question to me, and I'm the chair of the meeting, Madam Councilwoman Mervyn.
Okay.
I don't see why. We are in the middle of a pandemic. We have so many things to do. We are just discussing.
That's why in the middle of the
pandemic, the life of the people. Can we taking care of the people? This
is a part of me taking care of the people. While we are in this pandemic, I want to make sure that the
people are you taking care of? What people are you talking about? What people are you talking about?
Madam Manager and Mr. City Attorney, I just want to make sure and put it on the record and clear. So if there was a renovation happening Keystone Tot Lot, that we would go through the same process? Is that my understanding?
So, Councilwoman, what I want to say, when I started the project, when we started to work on the project, I was made aware of the past history that there was strong opposition to removing the basketball. And in being prudent, I went to both of you all that have an interest in the district to find out, where the direction of the project is. It would be imprudent for the city to move forward on a project that's in a district where two council have a strong interest in those districts. So when I had the conversations with you, I brought this forward because I have found out that in the past, there was strong opposition to removing the basketball courts, that it would also affect another district, and that the same two of the council that are in the same district. So if this was, I can't speak to another project because I don't know if another project would come up with this same issue, but we happen to
be it's a removal of an equipment or of some sort. So I'm just saying I'm just asking in general that if there was, because this is what we're saying. We're saying that this is an existing park. and all we're trying to just eliminate something and add something else. I just want to know the procedure moving forward. That's what I want to know. So the procedure moving forward, that if there was something that needs to be done in Claude Pepper Park, if there was something that needs to be done in Keystone, if there's something that needs to be done in any other park in Enchanted Forest, we would have to go through the same procedure. This is what I'm asking.
And Councilwoman Estime Irvin, don't be angry at it's a council meeting. It's the first council meeting of the year. We need to take care of every resident of the district. You cannot just talk to
every single day. Every single day. I do that. I do that. And I am taking care of the residents.
If you really did talk to people, you'll know that you cannot remove that basketball court just because you talk.
The people have said guys. On their behalf. I have spoken to people. I've personally taken the time to go in the neighborhood. I'm not just making this up.
Guys, just historically, if I could make and just say a few words. 2 years ago, I think I do not have a problem if that's the decision of removing the basketball court. But 2 years ago, when I wanted to remove, because I saw the same issue that you saw, I wanted to remove the basketball court, and I don't know how that issue, because I had the discussion with Larry and then maybe with a couple other residents. And I just had the discussion. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't even on the agenda because we I don't think we even had a resolution. And the next council meeting, if there wasn't at least 30 people. You probably recall this, Carol and Scott. Young folks with their basketball, and they came in after one another, and I had to back down because I did not understand and I did not speak to them. So whatever you guys want to do, all I'm saying is you guys need to just have a public, thing, and then just that's what I was gonna say. Just have
I'm okay to have it with the public. I just want to make sure that this procedure that is used for Breeze Swept is used for every other procedure, for every other parks or any other thing. That's all. I'm okay. I agree with the mayor. Bring it on the next meeting. Let's have a resolution. But moving forward, let's take the same pattern for everything else that we do. That's all.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, all we saying, you maybe don't like the basketball court.
I don't have a problem with that.
If the residents want it, you can just by your anger and say you want to remove it, but you have to talk to the residents.
What makes you think that I'm angry, sir? I'm just being.
This is actually going to be on public record, so if we can just talk one at a time, that would be helpful for us who are trying to take notes.
I am not angry for the record, Mr. Mayor. I'm just being firm about this. I need this project to move on. We already have the designated funds for it. I'm just making my point. I don't have an issue. I do agree. Bring it to the next council meeting with a resolution. That's fine, and I'm okay with that, and I'm ready to move forward.
Mr. Councilwoman Estime Irvin, understand you're the one that stopped the project from day one. But with that basketball discussion.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to say this again publicly. I have been approached by residents in the city and concerned about things that I don't want to even disclose. When people are telling me that they're going to the park and they're finding condoms on the swings, they're finding all sorts of things. I want to make the park a park where it's kids friendly. It is not. I don't understand why I'm fighting, because I should not live here and have to go to Biscayne Park and Miami Shores to feel safe. That's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for the people that have approached me about changing the equipment that are rusted. That's what I'm fighting for. That's it. I don't have an issue.
The problem is because a small park like that is 10 p.m. and the park is open. If we close the park at 6, 7 p.m., you won't have that issue.
Mr. Mayor, for your information, if I can't wait till they read it on the record, they jump over the fence at times to go and play after.
We need to call our police department. That's when our police department need to be aware of that. removing the basketball court not gonna solve the issue that you just mentioned.
And I am not, so for all of those, I am not anti-basketball. I want people to know that I am a single mother with a son that religiously plays basketball. So if that's not the problem. I mean, I am not anti-basketball. All I want are for the families that are here, that have the youngsters that are here, especially the nearby families that are here, to be able to enjoy the very park that they are paying for in their taxes, to be able to just go there and enjoy something that is walking distance. Most city tries to have a park that's walking distance to them. We have this top lot, and I just want to be for that enjoyment of those folks. Of course, for the entire city, but I'm talking about the ones that are immediately impacted by that. And I think that's my last comment because, I don't want. That's my last comment for the evening. Again,
what about those young kids, 7, 8 years old, who would like to play basketball? It's not a big basketball court. It's a small hoop. What about to those kids? You want them to cross the street and go all the way on 135th Street? A 7 years old? Thank you very much. Let's have citizen forum.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Can I say something? Yeah, yes. I would just like to bring up, and Keystone Point has a tot lot. It's in Councilman Galvin's District 1, and you're being very silent and quiet there. But the residents of both District 1 and 2 use that. And for years and years, the residents have complained about the tot lot because of the language, because the children hear the language. The residents actually who live in District 1 and 2 have objected for years and wanted to get rid of it. And for some reason, we have not been able to do that. It wasn't Scott's decision, it wasn't my decision to say we need to get rid of it because we tried. So I'd like to find out a little bit more why we could not do something. We put a lot more information on the court, prohibiting swearing. I don't know if we did lower hoops, but we've tried to do that too. And it is a tot lot, and we get people driving over to our tot lot to play, and they are not tots, they're adults. So we've been trying to do this. I can't do any, again, it's all our city, and I can't say that Councilman Galvin would even want to do something, but I just want to find out from staff why it was that Keystone Point could not get rid of there was a reason we could not get rid of our basketball courts, because we really do. I understand your pain, I understand that your little water splash part is great, but I want to hear from staff why we weren't able to, and what's the difference.
Is your basketball court inside of the tot lot, or is it next to the tot lot?
Yes. It's in the tot lot.
Exactly.
I don't have the history on that.
Basketball court, they couldn't do that because it served the resident of the city, not just a part of the city. That's the exact. I'm glad that you bring that up, Councilwoman Keys. Thank you very much, and let's open it to. Let's close that chapter.
So I'm ready to have the resolution brought to the next council meeting.
Public comments, Madam Clerk.
Yes.
So you can.
Give me 1 second to put a timer on because I do have a few comments.
Hello.
CBC Homes, 195 Northeast 127th Street, North Miami, Florida 33161. I am writing this letter regarding the renovations to Breeze Swept Tot Lot Park located at 12501 Northeast 2nd Avenue, North Miami, Florida 33161. I am requesting that you consider renovating the tot lot equipment and removing or adjusting the basketball goal to a level that will promote children's participation and deter adults without children from utilizing the facility. As a father of 2 daughters and a resident who reside close to the tot lot, I have witnessed adult men smoking marijuana using excessive profanity and displaying aggressive behavior. Furthermore, I have observed homeless individuals inside of the park tot equipment and using the children's fountain as a wash station. In lieu of these encounters, I have decided to refrain my children from utilizing their neighborhood playground facility. As a result, we must visit neighboring cities where the environment is safe and patrolled by police during peak hours. I hope that you find it in your heart and consciousness to address this pressing issue affecting our children and community as soon as possible. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Attached to that, by signing below, I support the removal of the basketball court at Breesweb Tot Lot, and it's essentially a petition letter for the removal of the basketball court at Breesweb Tot Lot with 32 signatures. Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard, North Miami, Florida, 33161. While I do acknowledge the Breesweb Tot Lot has needed to be renovated for quite some years, I am very concerned with the scope of my councilwoman's spending in District 3. To date, we have big projects in the works. We have Cagney Park, which is a large ticket item and an outstanding promise to the city's residents for over 14 years. We also have the Griffin Center, which is in the design phase of potentially 2 entirely new buildings and a park. Additionally, Ms. Estime Irvin was initiating the renovation of the footbridge on Northeast 131st and Griffin Boulevard. Now, she also wants to renovate the Tot Lot. Not one of these projects has gotten off the ground. All are expensive, and we are in a time of massive deficit, layoffs, furloughs. Literally, you are looking at ways to raise revenue by charging residents more for utilities. It seems foolish and irresponsible to start yet another project. Business owners have struggled, residents have struggled. People are getting into food lines in the early hours to get a box of food. I cannot understand the thought process of my councilwoman. We need to be responsible with taxpayers' money, especially right now when the acute needs of the residents are so dire. Slow down with the spending, put the Tot Lot on hold until even one of the district projects has been fully funded and completed, and then move on to the next if the money is available. Thank you. Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125th Street, North Miami, Florida, 33168. I object to the city supplying resources to one group of children through a paid community after school program in the North Miami Public Library on a routine basis, thereby directly, substantially, routinely blocking access to others. I object to there being no free internet access nor library services to the City of North Miami residents on the west side. I am concerned with the lack of free internet and library services on the west side of the city. These services are essential for our children who are being educated virtually and all residents due to the COVID pandemic. I would like to extend a Happy New Year blessing to the City of North Miami. Thank you, Chief Jariga and the City of North Miami Police Department for your expert services rendered during the Christmas and New Year holidays. David Estrabel, 12300 North Miami Avenue, North Miami, Florida. Madam City Manager, Mayor, and Council, I am writing to ask if any of you know of the theft of $50,000 of copper wiring at Nomi Red Garden. But I will say that as someone who talks to people that are familiar with city employees, there is a person in the administration that has known about this theft. I just wonder if this will be handled accordingly, like the Parks and Recreation leader was. I have a hand raised, and for anyone who would like to speak during Citizens Forum, please raise your hand at this time. If you are participating by phone, please press *9. Sarah McDevitt, I'm going to now unmute you. Please unmute yourself, state your name and address for the record, and remember that you have 2 minutes within which to make your comment.
Hi, this is Sarah, 14490 Northeast 10th Avenue. I'm actually calling in regard to the Breesweb Tot Lot. A little bit concerned because I'm on the City Parks Board and have been for many years. And while I knew that there was going to be a discussion item, I had not, nor have any of our board members seen the plans up until this moment. And I will say that removal of the basketball court, while I'm sure appealing to many residents, I also remember the time that the mayor's talking about where many people came forward in support of that basketball court. And I know that it's a popular place, and I think that it would be unjust to proceed with anything without getting the public input first. I feel really uncomfortable that the board hadn't seen the plans, and most certainly that the public hasn't had a chance to respond to the planned park improvements. I think that, the presentation done by the Parks Department is exciting, and the splash pad is great, but we definitely need to make sure that we get the public on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Carmela Furman.
Still open.
Carmela Furman, I'm going to unmute you now. Please unmute yourself, state your name and address for the record, and remember that you have 2 minutes within which to make your comment.
Thank you. Carmela Furman, 12530 Northeast 4th Avenue. I live right down the street from the tot lot. I think it definitely does needs to be remodeled. And as I understand from our councilwoman, there's money allocated for it. Of course, the issue is that something is being taken away. And so I think that would somehow require some public input that would be advertised to the community overall. I suggested to our councilwoman that a possible idea would be to use the shuffleboard space that's over at Griffin Center as a temporary place. Wouldn't be too far away from the tot lot. And it's something that if money isn't put to do courts at the tot lot, then you can do just 1 or 2 basketball hoops at the shuffleboard area that no one uses. And there's already the flooring and there's already benches with covered areas, and it would be away from the tot lot. And I think that would be a fair for everyone. That's it.
Thank you very much. Citizen Forum still open.
If you would like to speak during Citizens Forum, if you would like to make a comment during Citizens Forum, please raise your hand at this time.
Citizen Forum still open. Madam Clerk, no one.
Mayor, at this time, we do not have any hands raised for Citizens Forum.
Thank you very much. Now, Citizen Forum is closed. Council report. Let's start with Councilman Galvin.
I don't have any.
Councilwoman Kawakis.
2 things. One, today is the 11th anniversary of the Haiti earthquake. So we want to remember the thousands of families whose lives were impacted, and that we stand in support with the survivors and TPS recipients that continue to fight for the stability of Haiti. So we are thinking and remembering those families today. And secondly, this Saturday is my e-waste drive that I'm holding in conjunction with the Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce. It will be Saturday, 10 to 12 at the Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce behind the chamber at 13100 West Dixie Highway. We will have paper, you've got some time, get your personal papers together for paper shredding. We are going to be taking electronic waste like computers, monitors, TVs, all the electronic items that should not be in our landfills. A lot of people request paint can disposal. Those should not go in our trash. So we will be collecting paint cans and batteries, which is really important. And at 10:30, we will be planting with Urban Habitat of Miami, Howard Tonkin. We're going to be planting several Dade County pines. So for the chamber, they're just rehabilitating. They were a car ran into them many years ago, and they're finally fixing it up. So we will be planting beautiful pine trees on Dixie Highway. So everybody come, and it's drive-through, mask required, social distancing. All you do is drive through, you take the stuff out of your trunk, dump it in the trucks, and drive off. So social distancing. So we'll see you all on Saturday. That's it. Thank you. And Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, District 3, Councilwoman Maris Mervin.
Good evening or good afternoon again, everyone. Happy New Year. Just want to say a special thank you to all of the amazing people that volunteer for the Dear Santa letters and families of District 3. A special thank you to Chief Larry Jariga, to Coach Louis Presume, to John Sevier, Eric Just, and Salvia Ocus. I'd like to say a special thank you to the person that played Santa. I don't want the kids to hear who it was. You know who you are. Thank you so much. Mike McDermott, thank you for all of your help.
While the positives are going up, the positivity rate is still up, but it's dropping.
And donated groceries to family and asks for help. So I just want to say thank you again to all those people that participated. Like Councilwoman Keys just mentioned, just today is a day where we need to reflect and remember the devastation that happened in Haiti and all of the loved ones that we lost. But I thank God for the ones that did survive. And there are several activities that are happening throughout our county. There's one that I'm participating in I believe today at 7 p.m. And hopefully people can look on social media to see what the Zoom link is. I don't have that. Also, yesterday was yesterday or today is the National Slavery and Human Trafficking Day. Just want to make sure that we are aware of that right here in our cities, and we're taking all of the precautions to make sure that our youngsters are safe. Tomorrow we'll be doing a program where some kids from our public schools and our private school within North Miami will tune in to hear and to talk to survivors and talk to, in collaboration with we'll hear a message from our superintendent. We'll hear people from Kathy Rundle's office and others to talk to the kids about the importance and the safety and the precautions that they need to take for not to be trapped into this whole human trafficking thing. And then that's basically all. If, as usual, if anybody needs anything, they can easily send an email to District 3 at northmiamifl.gov, or they can contact me at 305-788-2592. And thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. Councilman Desulme, your report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to wish everyone a happy, prosperous, and healthy new year, 2021, and it will be better than 2020. And also, as we are commemorate on the 11th annual, as we remember those councilwoman's Councilwoman mentioned in terms of the earthquake that happened that took their lives in Haiti. And thank you, Councilwoman Keys, for mentioning that. I do have a concern, Mr. Mayor, I want to talk about, and it's a very, very grave one. If you allow me a few minutes to talk about it. We had a process where money was distributed, or where we had access for a couple of, maybe, in the last year or so, probably was a couple of millions in terms of money from COVID that we had to give to residents and businesses, et cetera, et cetera. But this comment and this concern is about the businesses and the business loan that was giving recently. Recently, we had an applicant. I remember the manager had said that we needed to make this emergency item where we needed to approve all of these things because we had 30 days essentially to spend this money, and we did what we had to do to spend it. The problem that I'm having, and this is a problem that I had prior to this particular application that was submitting, I guess this procedure, but there was previous incidents. I was just taking notes, but this one is so blatant and I can't let this go by. There was approximately several different, I guess, programs for businesses to apply for. The legacy grant, different types of grants, et cetera, et cetera. And I was very opposed to learn that out of the businesses that receive grants or that apply for grants, it was less than 2% or whatever the number was, that's on the west side of the city. And it's concerning, it's alarming, because these businesses been coming and they've been, talking about this unfair practices and all this. And I have been shutting them down, saying, no, we're doing all that we can, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until the numbers were a little bit right there in your face. Then there's nothing that you could do about it. So just to make it where I guess you guys would know exactly what I'm talking about. In terms of the business grant that we got in the last 30-day that we had to speed up, there were approximately 61 applications from my count. And Madam Manager, you could tell me if I'm wrong in terms of the numbers. It may be so, but it's approximate from the data that I got. So I may be a few off, giving up or down. And these were including the legacy grants, smart business, the Know Me regular business grants, and different things. 41 businesses throughout the city got awarded. Out of those, 2 of them were from District 4. Only 2. And after that, one of those actually got twice. So they got the legacy and they got another one. So they knew the process, which I applaud all the businesses. It has nothing to do with the businesses who are getting the grant, because that's the purpose of the grant for all of our businesses. My concern is the business from this area that's not getting the information or the concern that type of number out of the percentage of the business, and that this was that I guess either the whichever department that allow it to see it, or even the manager, that's where the concern is. And when the concern, I think I did mention, because I did request part of this while the application was when I did request, say, how many businesses were going on. It went from 2 to 5, and then the total was 6. And then the overall total from the 6, it was the CRA, from my understanding, that ended up giving more because the fund were depleting, but the CRA ended up funding the other additional 5 or whatever the difference of the business. So, but regardless what the CRA did, the total that we got after the CRA gave what it was 9. 9 out of the 61 that applied and the 41 that got it. So I'm asking the manager, because I am very concerned, and this is not going to happen anymore, because we need to figure out where the equity is for everybody. And if there's a department that's not doing that job in terms of helping out the business owner of getting the information, or our businesses that needs to be on the same level playing field as the others in terms of finding out where the resources are, or where they need to apply, or whatever the case is. And we can't say it's a time matter. We had like 3 weeks, whatever the case is. this is something that I said I was getting some report prior to this, but I did not pay attention to it because I did not know it was as bad as these numbers were. But this is very alarming. And in fact, these businesses were even thinking about, and I had to talk them down, Mr. Attorney, if they could do a class action lawsuit in terms of discrimination from the city. And I told them, I didn't think that was, that was the case, whatever the case is. But it doesn't look good, and I'm not going to sit back and allow it. So, Madam Manager, if there's something that needs to be done in terms of workshop or in terms of, first of all, I am opposed that whatever that department that oversees this program don't know the fabric of the city to know that, okay, this area, these are the businesses that we have, or these people need to get the information. If they don't have emails, or their email's not working, let's just get them the information. I'm not talking about us going out and doing what needs to be done. If these people are not qualified, that's a whole different thing. That's not what we're talking about. But the fact that the numbers are looking so starkly like that, that's not equitable, and it's not right. And we need to address it, and we need to address it immediately. So I however the outreach, whatever that needs to be done, and it's not fair, and it will not be fair because the numbers speak very, 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 very loud. When you look at it, and when I asked for this list, and I'm receiving 9 businesses, and these people say you've been elected for 5 years. So how would you allow our community don't even get the information for 9 businesses out of 40 something businesses to, even apply, whatever the case is. And again, out of the 9, it's not even 9, is because the CRA had to step in, because I was told by the time that they got there was 2 businesses who actually got served, or 3, and the rest went to, the CRA kind of gave funds to kind of help out. And it's a shame. I am very, very, I'm not very happy. So, and I told them I apologize. I said, we'll do a better job of getting the information out, and we will try to treat everybody equally or fairly, or at least get them the information fairly or equally. But I expect, Madam Manager, you do address whatever the gap, information gap, whatever that we need to do to make sure that every business in every corner of this city receive the same treatment and the same thing. So that's basically it, Mr. Mayor. And I didn't want to start the year like that, but it is what it is, and it's very, 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 very unfair. But that's the nature of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam City Clerk. Your report.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I know personally it was a tumultuous year in 2020, but in 2021, I'm going to be where all the good things reside. And so I wish for all of you to have a prosperous new year, and specifically, I wish you all good health. Today, we reflect on a catastrophic event that took place 11 years ago, where more than 300,000 people were killed, several 100,000 were injured, and about 1.5 million people were displaced, many of whom still to this day are displaced. And while Haiti hasn't fully recovered, it was through the strength of the Haitian people that Haiti continues to rebuild. And so on this day, I personally recall my own narrow escape from this tragic event. But most importantly, I reflect on the work of first responders who saved countless lives at that time, and the many people who engaged themselves in the rebuilding of Haiti post-earthquake. But I also reflect on our motto, which is L'union fait la force. And this tells us that in unity, there is strength. And so I know that in 1804, we were able to become the world's first Black republic. We will once again emerge victorious. And so on the thought of us, l'union fait la force, I want us to remember that we are approaching Martin Luther King Day. And on the heels of the insurrection at the Capitol, I reflect on a specific quote by Dr. King, where he said that in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And so, friends, it is in these exact times when our voices are critical. And Martin Luther King taught us that there are certain instances when taking a stand is absolutely necessary to our advancement. And so as we approach this day, we approach his birthday, I urge you all to use your voices to stand firmly on the side of justice and all that is right. And I hope that you all spend Martin Luther King Day in the service of others, as I will be, because as people on this earth, we owe it to each other to be there for one another. And with that said, I thank you all, and thank you, Mayor, for the time.
Attorney, do you have any report?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam City Manager. Your
Just a few
report.
things. First, I just want to say Happy New Year for the new meeting. I'm hoping that we're having a great year moving forward. I wanted to recognize a lot of the work and the programs that MOCA has been doing. I wanted to ask Shauna Sheldon to speak on some of the upcoming events. They have done a lot of work in making sure they can continue to do events at the museum. Shauna, if you can let them know about some of the upcoming events coming up now for MOCA.
Shauna, I just sent you a pin. So did you call in? So we can't hear you. Did you call in by phone? Just nod your head, yes or no.
I can move forward. I'm gonna move forward. We'll send out a note. We'll send out a notice to all of us. We'll go ahead, Shauna, we can't hear you, so we will send out a notice to the board on all of the activities that are taking place. What I would like to say is we did have a strong team that we had a couple of programs that we did, and I want to thank a lot of the staff that worked on the programs. As you know, we had about 3.5 weeks to disperse the monies from Miami-Dade County. It was $1.1 million. It was no small feat to get that amount of money and to actually get that out of the door. We were able to have a successful gift card program where many residents were able to get gift cards. We gave out 1,000 gift cards. We also did have the business grants. I do want to say that we respect your concerns, Councilman Desilme, and we are looking into making sure that we can do fair and equitable disbursements in terms of our programs going forward. I did want to separate the Miami-Dade monies that were in 3.5 weeks. And in those grants, we had a total of 8 in District 1, 27 in District 2, 6 in District 3, and 5 in District 4 from the Miami-Dade grants. And you are correct that we did get some assistance from the CRA. And the reason why we did that and we asked them for that is because when some of the applications came in the end, we wanted to make sure that we could fund every business that was there and made those deadlines, especially since we didn't know when we were going to get any more funds. So I do want to thank Rasha and the CRA for supporting us in that venture. Now, when we ask the CRA to help, as you know, we have CRA boundaries. So what we tend to do there is that we will ask the CRA to fund the ones that are qualified to get funded in that area so that we can have it there. But we will be looking to make sure that we can do this in the future and make sure that we can have education. We're hoping in the future to have a lot more time to reach out to our residents so that we can make sure we get full and complete and we work with them, and we will do that. We did in the last 2.5 weeks, did get a outreach group that did do some door to door and actually went out to some businesses and helped them fill out their Sun Biz, make sure they had their BTRs. So we did as much as we could in those 3.5 weeks. We can always do better. We will look to do better. So I thank you for bringing up your concerns, and we will look to them to work on them in the future. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much. And Madam City Manager, if you can send us maybe a video, a few minutes of the MOCA programs to each council members, since the director we couldn't hear from her. Yes, when if you send us a video or something about a presentation this afternoon.
Okay, we will send you.
Thank you very much. And now, can we hear motion to adjourn if we're done?
So moved.
I can hear.
So moved.
I'm not allowed to.
Where do you want to go? Huh?
Motion made by Councilman Galvin to adjourn, seconded by Councilman Deslame. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. We are adjourned. It is exactly 4 p.m.